Hello everyone, my name is Jeff, and this is the Zombie Land Saga episode 11 review. With me, as always, are Coby and Torie.
Hello. I have to say Jeff was so excited about this that he messed up the intro about 6,000 times.
Yeah, we've been here for like
this.
an hour and a half, just going over and over again.
He just couldn't name that this was the Zombie Land Saga review.
You know, if there is an award for the most exaggerated claim of the year, that would literally be it, because I messed up once, and that became 6,000, and that became 5 hours, or whatever the hell you said, Torie.
I think it felt like the same thing.
Yeah.
Sure it did. You know what? When you fuck up with the outro, I'm going to get on your ass about it.
Okay.
And Torie, you don't do shit, so you can't say anything.
Yeah, that's true.
So anyways, let's just talk about Zombieland Saga and
Episode
get
11.
off this stupid topic. All right. So the episode begins in a way that is reminiscent of how episode 1 began, with Sakura waking up in a scary mansion with no recollection of what is going on. If you remember, at the end of the last episode, she got hit by a truck, and it seems that has wiped out all of her memories of being a zombie and restored all of her memories before she died, essentially. So she wakes up in this scary mansion, and all the rest of Franchouchou, to her, look like scary zombies again. They've got glowing red eyes and terrible flesh. And she basically gets so scared that she passes out. And everyone's like, what the hell is wrong with her? And in the next scene, you see Sakura waking up again. But this time, Mizuno decides to wear her makeup so that she looks like a regular human being again and doesn't freak out Sakura right away. And in that moment, Ai kind of explains everything to her. And of course, Sakura recognizes Ai as being as
The famous Ai.
the famous pop idol that she looked up to when she was still alive. So
I wish we saw that conversation though when the zombies were sitting around. It's like, okay, which one of us should talk to her? It's like, oh, maybe I should talk to her. And then she's about to go, and then all of a sudden she's like, wait, maybe you should look human for this, or else you're gonna freak her out again.
Every time they zoom in on the zombies looking like scary zombies in the perspective of like Sakura or the cop, it always reminds me of SpongeBob when they like do some weird cut where they like zoom in and they all look ugly or gross or something. Mm-hmm. It's funny.
Yeah. On top of that, Coby was talking about how he wishes he saw more of that conversation. I actually wish we saw more of the conversation afterwards when I was actually explaining everything to Sakura, because I mean, we do see a little bit of that, but something that you'll notice, something that I noticed in this episode, is that Ai is a big inspiration to Sakura, actually. She's the whole reason that Sakura decided to try and become an idol herself, because right before she got hit by a truck, she was about to send off an application to what appeared to be like an auditioning studio or something like that. Or maybe it was a music school, I don't remember, but
big corporate business something.
Yeah, she wanted to be an idol because of Ai Mizuno, and I wish there was more of an interaction between the two of them, given how much Ai means to Sakura, but maybe they're preserving that for the next episode.
Maybe. I mean, it's kind of implied anyway, because Sakura recognizes Ai in the first episode too, right? Like,
I know, but I'm just saying that I wish there was more than just, hey, you're Ai Mizuno. And then Ai's like, yes, I am going to explain to you everything that happened. I wish there was more along the lines of, hey, you really inspired me, blah, 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 and I really am glad that I'm a part of this group or whatever. But that's probably going to come in the future.
Yeah. Okay, I get that.
okay.
So after that, Sakura is reinitiated into Franchouchou, and she kind of understands the situation. She understands that they're going to be performing at their first their first big concert, essentially. 500 people at the Arpino concert hall or whatever. And at first, Sakura is a little excited, and then she looks a little bit dejected, and seems like she remembered something in her past, and for some reason is now suddenly not on board with the whole idol idea. And then she goes off into the cellar or the attic or whatever, and starts pouting and is off on her own.
Right.
And then it cuts to what Kotaro is up to at this very moment, and it seems like he is at like a bar or something, and he's talking very he seems very chummy with the bartender, and he's very open about his Zombie Land Saga project. It seems like the the bartender or whoever this is knows about that as well. And it's sort of implied that he might be a zombie too, because they're eating fried squid, which as we all know, is what is used to tame the zombies, especially Tai Yamada. They all love that fried squid. So, and she more than that, the bartender also mentions that he owes Yugiri for something, and Yugiri was from the Meiji era. That was a long ass time ago. So if he knew her personally, he must have been from that same era, and therefore maybe he's a zombie.
How old is Yugiri? Or how old would be Yugiri?
The Meiji era, I think it ended about like late 1800s to the early 1900s, essentially.
Okay.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Don't quote me on that.
That whole thing was odd in terms of that old bartender thing. 'Cause I wasn't convinced one way or the other. Like, oh, is he saying he's a zombie, or is it the same bartender that, when Yugiri came into the bar and started singing and then all the patrons looked? Like, were they trying to reference that, and was that even the same bar? So I just didn't know if this was like an earlier callback to something that happened in the show, or expanding the mythology of everything. Either way, I mean, that's cool. Any mention of Yugiri is a good one for me.
Yeah. I mean, and regardless, he seems to be connected in some way. Like, whether he is the reason they're zombies, or he is the reason Yugiri is in the picture. I guess we'll find out. I don't know if we'll find out next episode, because that doesn't seem to be the focus.
Yeah, they have a lot of balls in the air right now in terms of if they want to go full force into explaining the zombie aspect and the actual plan, or if they want to focus more just on Sakura's reintegration into Franchouchou.
Yeah, this episode overall is not what I expected. I thought that they were going to resolve Sakura's past and storyline in this one episode, and then the next episode would be wholly dedicated to the concert. But as we'll discuss later, essentially Sakura's story and her past, and whether or not she wants to be a part of Franchouchou again, is not wholly resolved by the end of it. And that, along with the fact that, they've introduced this character. We don't really get a good look at the bartender's face, so that's kind of a mystery that's still in the air that looks like it might not be revealed next episode. So it looks like we're going to be getting a season 2 with more mysteries to be resolved in that season. Okay, so we go back to Franchouchou's mansion, and what follows is when I think a funny scene where all the Franchouchou gals are kind of sleeping in the same room, and then each of them kind of gets up for some random reason, and then they all so it starts with Saki. She says like, "Oh, I feel kind of sweaty. I gotta go wash myself," and then she goes off and tries to cheer up Saki and tries to
Sakura, yeah.
Sakura, and Saki tries to cheer up Sakura, tries to get her back into the group, fails to do so, and then the next person is Junko, and she comes up with a random reason as well, and so on and so forth. And I just really like the way they shot and framed that scene.
Yeah.
It's because it's funny just because they kept the frame basically the same. They kept it still. Like the shot of the room was the same, with all the girls sitting up and then saying one at a time, like coming up with some outlandish reason because they think they need to justify them leaving the room to everybody, even though nobody seems to care.
Yeah.
And then the editing got quicker as each one of them failed. Like immediately cut back to not Aijunko, the other one.
The last one was Yugiri.
Oh, not Yugiri, but whoever got, when it cut straight to them, Lily like crying in bed because she failed.
Oh, that was
just,
Junko.
really quick. Oh,
Yeah.
Junko was the one who cries like that. Yeah, just crying in bed because she failed. I mean, hilarious. And then, of course, Lily was funny. And then the capper with Yugiri bringing in the big guns was just hilarious.
That was so funny with her dressing up in full like kimono,
Full geisha wear.
And then she's like walking up really slowly on these high stilts up into the room. Bam, she's gone.
Mm-hmm.
I like it when it's like the joke was all about just the timing and the editing, and that's something I think the show, when it wants to excel at it, it can do it really well.
Yeah.
Yeah, and as you said, as we said before, Yugiri was the last one. When she reaches the top of the stairs, Sakura is gone, and afterwards, Kotaro actually arrives at the house and is like, "Hey, why is everyone staying up for me?" Like when he opens the door, he sees a bunch of like scary zombie gals. So, I guess that kind of affirms that he's not a zombie. Because if he was a zombie, he would he would probably not see them the way that I guess normal people see them.
The world sees them.
Yeah, the world sees them.
Well,
Nah.
I don't think that's independent proof. I just don't think he's a zombie in general.
Yeah.
But I think he could be something else. Who knows? Maybe a sand golem. Who knows?
Anyways, Sakura goes off on her own, and it is revealed. Her past is revealed, and it's one of those things that it's a show that one of the things that the show really excels at is balancing comedy and sadness at the same time. And so what is revealed is Sakura's past, which is essentially she is like the unluckiest, hardest working girl in Japan. Essentially, she's blessed with good looks and athletics and smarts, and she works hard. But every time she tries to achieve something that is to her very noteworthy, something goes wrong. For example, she was chosen to be like on a relay team like 3 years in a row, and she trained the hardest out of anyone. But every single time, the day of the race, she like pulls a muscle like in the opening ceremony.
Opening ceremony every single time.
And,
hilarious.
I guess let's see, what was the other one? Is like
Then she studied really hard to be in school.
Yeah,
right?
she studied really, really hard to get into like a good high school, I think it was. And on the day of the exam that she needs to ace, the one that she's been studying for, she sacrificed her social life, all of her hobbies, all of her interests in order to get to the school. On the day of the exam, she comes across a lot of old ladies that need help on the way to the exam room. So
they're either passed out or they've fallen down or something.
She has to pick them up and I guess place them somewhere safer. And you know she goes to the exam and she's all frazzled, and she basically she doesn't get into the school that she wanted. And it's really sad, but it's still presented in this way that makes me laugh, and I love that. I love that the show at its core is willing to present I guess sad moments, but still is able to pull a laugh out of it. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of not sad just from how funny it is. But, I mean, if you think about it, like the very last failure in her life is that she was about to apply to be an idol because she worked really hard and saw how I really inspired her and wanted her to do that. So she applied, and then she gets run over by a truck and died.
Like immediately after. Like after she was in a funk for a very long time, and then she saw Junko talk about failures aren't failures because whatever the line they said about mistakes, and because I don't see those as mistakes. I don't see mistakes as failures. That's what it was, or something like that. And she's like, okay, finally she's out of her funk. She's going to go apply, and that's when she gets hit by a truck and dies.
Yeah.
So funny.
Yeah, I mean, there is it's tragic, but yeah, there is comedy and tragedy after all.
So do you think? Let me ask you guys this question. Do you think that she is quitting Franchouchou because she doesn't believe that she could do it, or do you think that she is saving the group because in her mind, if she participates, something bad will happen and it will affect the entire group?
It's got to be the second one.
I think it's. No, I disagree. I think it's more of a self-confidence thing. I think it's more she just doesn't believe. I don't think she's doing it for the sake of the group. She's just being like, why try? Because just ultimately I fail anyway.
I mean, they could be both.
Yeah, I guess it could all be wrapped up into one thing.
Yeah, I think it's more, I agree with Coby that it's self-confidence because in her mind, she doesn't really know these girls. So if she sacrifices this group, and I mean, she wanted to be an idol anyway, so I guess maybe that would be she wouldn't want to ruin the show in general, but I think it's more of a self-conscious issue.
I mean, she also specifically mentions, like, can't you guys do this without me?
Yeah.
Kind of thing. Like, she's not oblivious that there is a group involved and that if she comes on and she fails, everyone else would fail. So yeah, I think it's both reasons.
Okay.
And so she's at the park and she's moping, and what do you know it? Our favorite cop arrives.
The only cop in Saga.
The only cop in all of Saga. And he gives his typical shocked reaction. He's like, another one. And he's about to shoot Sakura. And I think, what is that, like a baseball or something comes flying out of nowhere and hits him, bonks him on the head. And basically, Kotaro saves Sakura from being shot again. And the doggy, I forgot his name, is also there. But,
Romero.
Romero.
Yeah.
So Kotaro takes Sakura and decides to give her a little pep talk and he takes her to some kind of balcony somewhere and shows her like this forest. I forgot what the forest was called, and it's surrounded by all these lights. And he's like, Sakura, you're like that forest. You know, it's dark right now, but you're surrounded by lights, and all those lights are waiting for you to light up too. And that's kind of his inspirational pep talk. But Sakura doesn't exactly buy it. And then Kotaro appears to give up on her, and he's like, well, you know what then? I if you want to feel like that, that's your problem. I'm heading out. And then he kind of like steps out of the frame, and then it kind of like cuts to Sakura kind of moping about. And then it jumps again to a cut with Kotaro like still like standing behind her in the frame. And then he's like, you thought it was finished?
You thought that was it? You thought I was done? No, I'm not giving up on you.
Yeah. And he does his screamy Kotaro bit that is, abrasive and also heartfelt. He says that he'll never give up on Sakura, and Sakura is taken aback. And that's essentially where the episode ends.
Yeah, he says something along the lines like, it doesn't matter if, like, you fail. It's like me. It's like, it's all my fault. Like, so as long as I don't give up on you, you'll have
It was basically a playoff of Gurren Lagann. Don't believe in... If you don't believe in you, believe in me who believes in you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And that's the episode.
Yeah, so that's the episode. And this is great because this is what I really wanted to talk about, because throughout these past 11 episodes or so, we've been theorizing about Sakura's memory loss, about what that really means and how it actually ties into an ongoing mystery. And at first I was really sad about that it really wasn't a mystery. It didn't relate to some overarching plot. But then after thinking about it more, it actually is a great character beat, because it's not about plot, it's about character. It's about taking someone who, the reason that Sakura was who she was and willing to be part of this group is because she wasn't affected by the past. She didn't let her influences stop her from, being a part of Franchouchou. She just knew that, idols are awesome, I'm going to be an idol. But now that she actually has memories of her life, when put into the same exact situation as she was, she immediately quits and says, I can't do it because I've always failed in the past. And I think it's an interesting, what's the word for it, like dichotomy between those two. Mm-hmm. Just when you're free of any burden of the past weighing you down, you really can do anything you want. But it's only because she's hung up on her past mistakes that she can't be the member that she once was. So I thought, even though the memory thing didn't relate to anything mystery-wise, we were theorizing, maybe because we were saying maybe she didn't die there, maybe she died later, and maybe she knew Kotaro in the past life. And it's ultimately all that stuff doesn't matter, because it just boils down to the simple thing of her past weighs her down, and they're presented it in a very interesting way.
Yeah, I agree. Though I don't think the mystery's over. I still think Kotaro is involved in some certain way. And I just want to clarify something. We've never seen Kotaro without his sunglasses off, right? Like, even in the nighttime, he's always wearing his sunglasses.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, why?
That's a mystery.
When you animate, because then it's easy just to stick the same thing there, right?
Yeah, that's a fair reason.
I mean,
there could be a mystery there. There could not be. It doesn't matter.
I think there is a mystery.
But what do you guys think? Do you guys think that it was that her memories not relating to kind of a mystery was a bad thing or a good thing?
I mean, I kind of agree with Torie. I think it still leaves the door open, potentially, because as far as we've seen, it seems that Kotaro has brought back each of these girls for a specific reason. Each of these girls have been
the best of the best.
Have been the best of the best. They've been entertainers, famous entertainers in their own era. The only one that we don't know about is Tai Yamada, and I guess if Sakura did just die from being hit by a truck, well, that kind of begs the question as to why Kotaro brought her back then, because, I mean, she was about to apply to be a idol, but she wasn't actually an idol if we assume that she died at the truck. So I feel like that would not really help Kotaro, especially with the fact that her attitude at that point was if Kotaro knew about her past and how every time she tried to do something great she ends up failing, Kotaro probably would have known that that would have been a problem. But I don't know if he can rely on Sakura losing her memory after she became zombified. So it doesn't seem like a good plan to just kind of bet on the fact that, okay, we're going to take Sakura and she's not going to have any memory and that's okay. You know, there might still be memories left to be unlocked.
Mm-hmm. I mean, the other half is, you said, she's not going to have her past hold her back. You know, that's okay. But also, she has never had any idol experience at all. Like, that's a little risky for Kotaro just to throw a random chick in there. So I think there's one more mystery, or maybe a couple more mysteries that we still need to figure out about Sakura. And that the fact that they're introducing this plot where we think she doesn't have any mysteries going on will leave the door open for more surprises.
Hopefully in the final episode. I mean, we only have one more left. I don't know how they can wrap everything up in a satisfying way.
I mean, I think the answer to that is they're not.
Yeah, they're not.
I don't even know if they're going to have the concert next episode. I would be very disappointed if they didn't, but...
No, they got to. They got to have this concert.
I certainly hope so.
Yeah, it's going to end with the concert, and she's going to doubt herself, like, oh, I can't do it, and then she's going to be on stage, and it's going to be all triumphant, and she's like, I'm part of Franchouchou.
You think so? You don't think something bad's going to happen?
No, I think they're going to...
I think something bad is going to happen, but Sakura is going to realize that just because something bad happens doesn't mean that you should, give up or, let it put you down and, you're not the worst person ever. Because it seems like even though bad things happened in her past, she still didn't, pull through and
she needs to learn the lesson one more time.
Mm-hmm.
She needs to pass the test. Yeah, I think you're right. I think something bad will still happen. And it'll be a test to see if she will overcome that.
Because now she has friends and family to rely on to help her through this.
Because all the other struggles she went through were all about herself and her own strife and doing this the best she can. But I think that's what they've all been reiterating throughout this whole show. It's about the team. It's about working together and being there for each other.
Yep.
And without having a Yugiri-centric episode.
Yeah, I mean...
That's second season, man.
They can still do that. And and there's Taimata. Who knows what she's about.
Yeah, I wonder...
The legendary Taimata.
I'm thinking, I wonder if Sakura and Taimata are connected in some way.
That'd be cool.
Mm-hmm.
And
that would explain why her life is so ambiguous because Tai is not there to tie things in.
Maybe.
Okay.
It works in English.
Yeah. I mean, anything else to say about this episode? Are you guys happy with it? Do you guys like it?
It's not what I expected, but I am happy with it still. I would say that this is the most the most character that Sakura has shown. I mean, given that she has amnesia, you could argue that, she's not really supposed to have a personality. Like, she's kind of been like the archetypal, bubbly, positive support type character that's there for everyone else. But here, I feel like she's displayed for the first time actual emotions other than being kind of that type of character. She's displayed frustration, sadness, anger,
self-doubt.
It's all great. Just because I think it only works because we spent the last 10 episodes before this seeing someone who's just always positive and always willing to help out people, and always wanting to do her best to be an idol because that sounds awesome. That bubbly persona, but just as soon as she remembers her past, she becomes a completely different person, which is. It's just something I really liked about this episode.
I thought the episode was going to end, and who knows, they might still do this in the next episode. It'd be kind of weird, but I thought she was going to try to kill herself, like drown her. When she was going towards the ocean, I thought she was going to drown herself.
Well, it was just a weird cut. Like, there was, when she was leaning on that rail, like, we saw a close-up of the writing on the railing, which is like, do not stand so close to the railing possibility of death. It was like, I thought Kotaro was going to push her off to be like, you're a zombie, get over it.
Yeah, I don't know if Kotaro's that cruel.
No, but before I saw Kotaro in the shot, I thought she was literally going to just jump and kill herself.
Yeah, but it wouldn't have done anything though.
You don't think
she
so?
was a zombie.
You don't think zombies can ever die?
Saki flew a fucking motorcycle off the same balcony, same type of balcony. It exploded into flames and she got out like nothing happened.
Yeah, but she also wasn't
was
in the
fine.
flames because her body wasn't burnt or anything.
But she still would have fallen.
I know.
Well, you can do a lot to these zombies. Like, remember when Saki slapped her, then her head just started spinning around, and Sakura wasn't doing anything about it. She just let it happen. She's like, "Stop it! Stop doing that."
Oh, that was a funny joke. Okay, I don't know. I think there's a way for a zombie to be permanently dead. I just haven't
it's getting
figured
shot in
it
the
out.
head.
Yeah, shot the head.
No,
Decapitate the brain. That's how you kill a zombie.
They got shot in the head before, right? So
No?
I thought Sakura did in the first episode.
I think she got shot in the chest.
She got shot in the chest.
Oh.
Yeah, you can't kill zombies. You just decapitate the head, neuralize the brain.
I don't even know if decapitating the head is enough, because we've seen like several times before in the show of heads popping off and the zombies still being okay.
And the bodies being two separate things. I don't know. I don't know, man. I don't know the rules.
Okay. Well, my thought was that she was gonna try to commit suicide, but her friends or Katara or somebody was gonna save her. That was my thinking. Didn't happen.
Didn't happen. Mm-mm. Maybe next time.
Maybe. But overall, it's a pretty good episode. Wasn't what I expected, which makes it a good episode.
Yeah, I'm excited for the finale. I'm excited to see where it goes.
I'm kind of skeptical about the finale. I think they're trying to juggle too many juggle balls at once.
So they're trying to juggle balls.
Okay, Coby, please sign us off now.
All right, you found this on Nerd Blaze. Like, comment, subscribe. Thank you for all the comments so far, and for the likes for that. And we'll be back next week with the final wrap up of the final episode of Zombie Land Saga. Thank you all very much.
Thanks for watching. See ya.
Bye.